Only by exploring psychology's origin and studying its development can we see clearly the nature of psychology today, said by Dwayne and Sidney Schultz. Good day everyone! Today, we're going to share the important events, discoveries, and invention in psychology. In 387 BC, Plato suggested that the brain is the mechanism of mental processes. In 335 BC, Aristotle suggested that the heart is the mechanism of mental processes. Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press in 1440, which revolutionized the communication of psychological findings. With the ability to print and publish books, journals, and pamphlets about new psychological findings. In 1774, Franz Mesmer detailed his cure for some mental illness, originally called mesmerism and now known as hypnosis. In 1878, G. Stanley Hall becomes the first American to earn a PhD in psychology. In 1879, William Wundt establishes the first experimental psychology lab in Leipzig, Germany, marking the formal beginning of the study of human emotions, behavior, and cognitions.
In 1886, Sigmund Freud begins offering therapy to the patients in Vienna, Austria. In 1892, G. Stanley Hall founds the American Psychological Association, also known as APA, and serves as its first president. He later establishes two key journals in the field. The first is American Journal of Psychology, and second is the Journal of Applied Psychology. In 1900s, Sigmund Freud introduces his theory in the interpretation of dreams. The first 24 books he would write exploring such topics such as unconscious, techniques of free association, and sexuality as a driving force in human psychology. In 1905, IQ test was developed. Using standardized tests, Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon developed a scale of general intelligence on the basis of mental age. Later, researchers refined this work into the concept of intelligence quotient. From their beginning, such test accuracy and fairness are challenged. In 1920, Swiss psychologist John Piaget publishes The Child's Conception of the World, prompting the study of cognition in the developing child.
In 1921, Swiss psychiatrist Hermann Rorschach devises a personality test based on patients' interpretation of inkblots. 1929, psychiatrist Hans Berger invents the electroencephalogram and tests it on his son. The device graphs the electrical activity of the brain by means of electrodes attached to the head. This expanded knowledge of psychology by providing a non-invasive, functional method of scanning the brain. In 1936, Walter Freeman performs first frontal lobotomy in the United States at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. By 1951, more than 18,000 such operations have been performed. In 1938, electroconvulsive therapy began. Italian psychiatrist and neuropathologist Ugo Cerletti and his associates treat human patients with electrical shocks to alleviate schizophrenia and psychosis. ECT, while controversial, is proven effective in some cases and is still in use in 2001. 1951, studies are published reporting that the drug imipramine may be able to lessen depression. 8 years later, the FDA approves its use in the United States under the name Profanil.
In 1952, antipsychotic drug chlorpromazine, known as Thorazine, was tested on a patient in a Paris military hospital. Approved for use in the United States in 1954, it becomes widely prescribed. 1972, the CT scan was invented by two independent scientists, Godfrey Hounsfield in England and Alan Comrock in the United States. First machines were installed between 1974 and 1976. The CT scan enables direct imaging of the brain. It can detect brain tumor and other brain abnormalities. In 1973, the MRI scan was first demonstrated in 1973. A magnetic resonance imaging machine creates a strong magnetic field placed around the brain and gave psychologists a non-invasive way to structurally scan the brain. This is a technological tool still utilized today and greatly influenced the field of psychological knowledge of the brain. In 1974, a new brain scanning technique, positron emission tomography (PET), is tested by tracing chemical markers. PET maps brain function in more detail than earlier techniques. 1981, the personal computer was launched by IBM. This significantly furthered the knowledge of psychology through technology by creating a personal device that people can communicate through and gain knowledge of published papers or newly discovered psychological data.
In 1989, the World Wide Web was created by Tim Berners-Lee, utilizing the multifaceted abilities of the Internet. A student in psychology has more technology at their disposal than ever before. In 1991, the invention of the functional magnetic resonance imaging machine was a groundbreaking scanner that significantly impacted the gain of psychological knowledge through technology. In 1998, there were 35 internet experiments and surveys on the net tests that were once completed with pencil and paper are now done computers. Test takers using computers can be fed different questions based on their answers of previous questions. Research psychologists and diagnosticians take advantage of this to create more accurate assessments. 2000, 16 public research institutions around the world complete a working draft mapping of the human genetic code, providing a research basis for a new understanding of human development and disease. A similar privately funded project is currently underway.
That is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Again and again, we're Group 1 from Psychology 2B. Peace.